Hello, everybody. Thank you for joining us. You might wonder, hey, Grim Perilous Plays. It is us. We just have some technical difficulties. We did some workarounds, and it is us. It is Zweihander. We are here streaming on our own channel. We found a way to make it work with some bubblegum and shoestrings. But we got it. We got it going. So we're gonna play the in between. Last week, these fine folks made characters live with everyone, and now we're going to jump into the in between by Emmy Award winner Sean Van Dam, and we're gonna play the first. I think we're gonna get through the very first act. There's acts or episodes the way he set it up, and I think we'll get through the first episode tonight with any luck. If we get done early, then we finish early. But we'll see what happens. I was telling these guys last time I ran this, the party was essentially crippled from peril after the first act or episode. So we'll see what happens with this group. But we'll go around. We'll let everybody introduce their character, who they're playing, and plug anything that they have going on channels, or if they, I don't know, are creators of any kind, what they got going on, and then we'll get into the game. So Irene, we will start with you.
Hi, I'm GM Irene. You can find me on Twitter at DMIreneDB. And still trying to getting back into streaming on my own channel. But I do streams for the Battle Group Valkyrie once a month for our Pathfinder First Edition game. So we'll be putting a tweet out for that soon. And I have a brand new adventure that I'm personally working on, so that'll be out hopefully next month sometime.
On the Grim Perilous Library?
On the Grim Perilous
cool.
Library.
Very cool. Maybe we'll run it on the channel.
Maybe. That would be so cool.
All right. Did you want to tell us about your Blitzballer?
Oh, I should tell you about June, shouldn't I?
Yeah, please.
So June, the Swift Fist Aerith, is a ogre. She's got short cropped jet black hair, medium brown eyes. She's kind of frail for an ogre, but she is a blitzballer, which is basically their version of football.
Hence the pads, if anybody's wondering.
Yeah, hence the pads. And so what she does is she's well known for a really killer right hook, which is where she got her nickname, the Swift Fist. She was her team, the Ornery Wasps, was working for a crime family, I believe called the Raymonds, and they wanted her to throw a game, and she refused to throw the game, and so she's sort of been on the run since then from them. I think basically suspended by her team, made up stuff. So yeah, you see, that's how she got to where she's at now.
Very good. Taking on odd missions. Maybe on your way to the next game. That's how you filled the time on the road. I'll take on a job on my way there. We're going to Fuchstad. That's where we're headed. So I don't know. Maybe you have a big game there. All right, Adam, you're up.
Hello, Internet. Motorcycle Parade picked an excellent time.
Yes, as soon as you.
Oh, and they're just keep on coming, don't they? All right. I'm a random internet nerd. I don't make anything fun that you would care about. I will plug the Looking for Group channel in the official Zweihander Discord as being a very active way to jump into a thing if you're looking to learn how to play this. I was looking for a group, and I was in a session 0, I think 3 days later, and now the following week I'm playing. And I watched several other games coalesce around me while that was happening. So if you're looking to play, Looking for Group in the official Zweihander thing is very active. You're not going to end up surrounded by 30 people who want to play and nobody who wants to run. So that's my plug for something online, even though it is.
Well, thank you. I'm going to drop the link to the Discord in the chat right now for anybody who's watching and here that wants to check it out who isn't already in there. There's a few folks in there right now that are looking to start a game up. I think there's 2 or 3 that I just posted within the last couple days.
Yeah.
I am playing Severin Hurt, which a random Germanic name generator gave me that name, as I had to run with it. Sounds like it should be a combat character. I'm actually an adherent of the Martyr. It's very much, pacifist, Healy type character. Still working out exactly how the branded drawback works into it. Workshopping something along the lines of the same gang that our Blitzballer had kind of gotten into drama with, some affiliation there. Tempted to go with was a healer for anybody on the street, and cops followed some burglars back to the healing hideout in the middle of stitching up a burglar, ended up convicted alongside them as an accessory to the burglary, something like that. So violent crime conviction for a very not violent person. Something like that. That's what I got. We've got a session 0 so far, so we'll see how the character's personality develops as we go.
See how it goes. Yeah. Perfect. All right. Adam, you're up.
I was Adam.
I'm sorry, Will. I'm working on the overlays. I'm doing this. I apologize. Will, you're next, please. Thank you, Adam. I'm sorry.
Absolutely.
I don't have anything to plug right now. Might have something to plug here in a couple weeks, but my character, Marith Vonderos, he's an elven courtier. He was a war orphan of what is now a forgotten war for most humans. Struck by lightning. He has a gray patch of hair or a white patch of hair, and when the lightning exited through his foot, blew it off. He has a veteran's boot. He is basically gets by on guile and making stuff up, making it sound good, probably a little bit. He talks about something that happened 100 years ago, and people just, I guess so. I don't know. So yeah, he's just kind of a trickster at the court. So excited to see what he can accomplish here.
Excellent. All right. Enernata, Ignacio, Nacho.
Hi,
Last but
everyone.
not least.
Last but not least, well, I'm one of the many librarians in the Zweihander Discord. I recently finished writing a new adventure for the upcoming Lowborn Free that will be up before October. So I'm very happy with that. I'm playing Angra Maiju. He knows he used to run as a footpad or as an enforcer for the Raymond family, the one that got June into trouble to fixing the game, dropping the game. So now, because he was called a rat in their band, in the family, he cannot stay there, so he has to run away. So he's running with June and trying to see what's the town name?
That we're headed to Fuchstad.
To Fuchstad. So let's see how this all goes.
Let's see, is
It's
it
going
marked
to be
as
fun.
yeah? Is it marked as mature tonight? Fuchstad. I don't know. However you pronounce it. It's regional.
Fuchstad.
Fuchstad.
Put a little stank on it.
Yes. All right, and I think that's it. Shall we get into it?
Yeah.
I'm ready.
Does anybody have any questions about the game or Roll20 or anything like that before we get into it?
Do we want to do any kind of inventory accounting before we get into narrative time? Particularly thinking about, like, one of my spells requires a tortoise shell to be expended as part of the casting material.
Okay.
Should I just tell you I have 3 of those in my pack, or
Sure.
like, you're going to be wandering through a market? Like, how much do you care? Like, we've already established conference, right?
I'm gonna strip you of everything right away, anyways, so I'm not even concerned about it.
All right, cool.
No, if you have things like spells, you'll have some regents.
Right.
So if you have like 3 tortoise shells and all that, that's all good. That's all good.
Okay. Cool.
All right. And we'll answer questions about Roll20 in the game. And like I said, it's going to be like a learning game. So we'll go through all of it together and walk through the sheets on Roll20 and what to click when and where to find all the information. So, All right, well, let's get into it. The in-between session 1. So you have been traveling on the road for 3 days, 3 uneventful days. You've got 10 more ahead of you. The climate brewing around you is one of war. There is a war going on between 2 states or provinces right now, and you're kind of making your way through the war zone to deliver a box that is chained to the arm of the man who hired you for this job. His name is Durant, and he's a real piece of work. Nobody really likes him, but this is what he does, and he's really good at it. And he's hired the group of you, the 4 of you, to join him on this quest to deliver whatever is inside this box that is chained to his arm. You guys have asked, you've poked, you've prodded. He won't reveal. It's locked shut. He's got a chain around it, a chain to his arm, and he's always holding it under his arm at all times. So you guys have settled down for the evening, for the night. You're sitting around the fire. The fire's warm, it's crackling, and you're all kind of sitting there thinking about what the day will bring tomorrow. Hopefully you don't see any signs of war. Durant is cradling the small wooden box in his arm the whole time. Shadows are dancing and leaping all about you. You're surrounded by trees. You're in a small little clearing, trees all around you. And just off the edge of the fire's vision, almost kind of like fading in and out of the shadows, you could see some shapes in a large old willow tree nearby. You hear cawing, and you look up and you see that there's a flock of ravens sitting in one of these big giant trees nearby. Just like all of them are just watching the group of you. Their complete attention is on the 5 of you. Durant looks up and goes, "Oh, that sure is creepy." And he readjusts and he moves the box in his hand and brings it closer to himself. Everybody who's there, you look up at these ravens. Go ahead and make me a standard awareness check when you observe these things. So the way to set the difficulty is in the middle of the character sheet. There you got the difficulty rating. Standards right in the middle, so you don't need to change it. All you need to do is hit the awareness button.
Looks like I did that right half by accident.
It is correct.
Ooh.
You rolled too high. June rolled too high.
Where's the awareness button?
It'll be under perception.
Right.
It's in the perception section. About halfway down. More.
Here we go. Sweet.
All right. So we got 1 success here. We got Angra. Is it Angra? Is that how I pronounce it?
Yeah.
All right. You're looking and you're like squinting as the fire flickers and dances within the trees and the shadows. And you can count like 24 of these ravens, and they're all just focused on the group of you. Nothing else is taking their attention away. Their yellow eyes.
Too many ravens there. 24 of them.
24, but you notice something unusual. You notice a white raven amongst the flock.
Okay, can I check folklore? To see
Yes,
if I
you can
know?
make me an easy folklore test, and if you tell the others, you go, "Hey, like there's a white raven there."
Yeah.
Anybody else that you tell about it can also make an easy folklore test.
Okay, so I click easy.
Yes, easy for the
oh.
difficulty.
Folklore. Wait.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oof.
So Angra says, "Look, there's a white raven there in the trees," and you all kind of pull back on your heels and go, "Oh, that's weird." It's an albino raven sitting there in the flock.
Yeah, I don't know what that means, but I guess you guys do.
Those who passed know that a white raven is an ill omen, and it is often a sign of approaching death.
So June is going to grab a hold of her holy symbol of the steward and start muttering a prayer.
Mm-hmm. Who
Roll to pray.
rolled to pray? So who failed this?
Oh,
Severin, you
I-
failed. Severin, you failed. So you're like the least interested in all of this. Everybody else is focused on like, "Oh, white raven. It's a sign of death. It's an ill omen.
An omen of
good.
death in an active war zone. I'm shocked. Shocked and dismayed.
Yeah.
So you're kind of disinterested in this. As they're talking, and June grabs her holy symbol and says a prayer, and everybody's kind of focused on this. This white raven flies down on the ground near you in the dirt and just kind of starts hopping around and looks at you, and it tilts its head from side to side, bobbing back and forth with its glassy eyes.
I grab a stone.
All right. You grab a stone, it starts hopping on over, and it hops up on the log that Severin's sitting on, and it just hops on the log, and it's just staring over at you.
If I see Umbra do that, I'm just going to put up a hand. Like, it's no call to be a dick. It's not necessary to antagonize the wildlife.
Leave the bird alone.
Did we? We're at a campfire in the evening. Do we have like rations broken out? We're kind of doing whatever.
Yeah, I'll say you're eating for the evening.
I'll tear off a crumb of my lembas bread or whatever and kind of toss it in this direction.
All right, it moves its neck and grabs it out of the air and starts munching on it.
Do you know that's an ill omen, right? That's the mark of death.
I mean, well, I for one am positively shocked that an omen of death is visiting us in the middle of an active war zone. But I mean, there's precisely no call to be rude. We're passing through. He presumably lives here. Common courtesy, if nothing else, particularly if you think there's some sort of supernatural power at work. What's the advantage to pissing off the local spiritual architecture?
Okay, you have a point there.
Yeah, Severin's not wrong. Makes a good point.
Good point. Yeah.
It jumps off the log. It eats the bit of food, the scraps you throw to it, and it's standing now kind of next to you, Severin, and it's no longer looking at you. It's suddenly, out of nowhere, it starts to morph, and it gets bigger and bigger, and its feathers start to turn into like cloth texture. And in a moment's time, you see a hooded, cloaked, pale woman standing in front of the group of you. I need everybody to go ahead and make me a standard resolve test to kind of cope with and deal with what you just witnessed. See if it drives you a little crazy. Oh.
Yeah.
Failed.
I'm gonna. So this is
Whatever fail is. It was close.
This is a good time to point out that you have 5 fortune points for tonight's adventure. You can cash those in for one of the things as a reroll. When you spend it, it becomes a misfortune point, and then I get to use it for the same things you guys get to use it for. Increasing or getting max damage on a roll, re-rolling a failed skill test, or taking an extra action point in combat. So if anybody wants to, they can spend a fortune point. It's a pool. It's a shared pool. I just dropped 5 coins on the table in Roll20 for all of you to see. A little visual reminder of what you have for fortune right now. You can spend one now. You don't have to. So this is a standard resolve test. So I'm going to roll a d10 plus 1, and that's how much mental peril you're going to suffer. So I could roll low and not even go over your threshold, and it won't even affect you. It's up to you guys. This is kind of like one of the first rolls of the game, of the session. So if you want to spend fortune, you can. If you want to save them for the remainder of the session, that is also an option.
I think I'm going to save.
I'm saving.
Yeah, me too.
I think role-playing a failure is going to be funnier. Like absent guidance from you as the GM on what's going on here. This was closest to me, right? I'm going to like throw myself backwards. Oh, shit!
So I only rolled 3. So let's go to your character sheets, and you want to look on the very first tab, the skills and attributes tab, and that's where your peril threshold is. It's on the right hand side. It's on, if you look at when you see where combat is, the far right hand side of that, you should see peril threshold. Now I don't think a 3 is going to be over the first number there for any of you. Does it exceed that first number that's listed for any of you for your peril threshold?
One that's WB plus 3, or
yes, yeah, that one.
3 does not exceed that for me.
So none of you are going to take stress. damage. You all cope with what you just saw. Like, you're in a war zone. It's unbelievable. You've seen atrocities as you've traveled. So a bird turning into a woman, you're kind of like, it hits you for a moment, and then you're like, no, you pull it together. You pull it together.
Specifically, I'm going to throw myself backwards. Oh shit, Angra was right. Almost more that than what's happening here.
So this figure, she speaks after you all kind of like compose yourselves. She says, "You have entered a dangerous place, mortals. The dark musician has already started playing, gathering his audience." And she just looks at the group of you, and the birds are cawing in the tree behind her, almost like in unison now, one after another.
Can I throw a folklore to see
I was
who's
gonna
the
say.
Yeah. Go ahead and make me a
Yeah, I wanted to do the same. Do an additional folklore.
do a standard folklore test for this.
Yeah.
Oh wait.
Get all the high rolls out now.
Oh hey,
I'm doing that.
Marith got, oh no, I'm sorry. Severin got it. It's gonna be taking me a couple sessions to get everybody's names correct. All right, Severin succeeded. You know that a raven is an aspect of the custodian.
I succeeded also.
Oh, and so the two of you know that then. This is tied to the god, the custodian, in somehow, some way. You've not heard, though, of a manifestation of a raven into a woman. So this is unusual, but you know it is tied somehow to the custodian.
Custodian in this setting is the god of the afterlife, right? So it kind of fits with the element of death thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Sure.
I love the custodians.
She says, "The Reaper is ahead of you. His followers are behind. The mist and nothingness live where you once were." And as she's saying this, you notice that there is a building mist now coming from the trees all around you. And it's growing thicker and thicker. And as it does so, you hear howling and baying of animals, almost like wolves, like all around you all of a sudden.
Okay,
And again-
I uncheck my sword.
Okay?
Yeah, June's gonna just like start slipping on her cestises. Her cestus. Yeah.
Cestices.
Cesties. As you all grab your weapons and you start to prepare, and the mist rolls in, she reiterates once again, "The dark musician is ahead." And she points behind you. And all of a sudden you can see the mist almost like break apart. Almost part like the sea. But it's very, very faint. And all you see is darkness. But you look down at the ground, and all of a sudden in the mud leading to where this break, or through where this break is, you start to see bloody footprints just appear in front of your eyes.
Tracking towards us or
Away
out?
from you. Away from this clearing as the mist is rolling in and you're hearing this howling all around you. And it looks like it's almost going down like an invisible trail. But it's complete blackness. There's no light whatsoever in that direction.
All right. This howling, does it sound more like wind through trees, or does it sound like actual living animals? Wolves?
Actual living animals.
All right. I don't exactly want to abandon all of our camping supplies, but kind of seems like it's time to move on.
Do we have a lantern?
You have a fire. You wouldn't have had a lantern lit, I'd say, at this point, because you have a fire around you.
Alright, June is going to is there like a log or a stick that June
Stick
can
or
pick up?
something.
Sure.
Yeah,
For sure.
for a torch.
Yeah. You could definitely do that.
Okay, so June's gonna grab a torch. Or make a torch.
If we were cooking meat, there may be fat in a pan. You can oil up some rags, wrap them up, like make a torch. I don't know how.
Yeah.
how willing
do that-
the GM is to just decide we have an actual torch versus poorly lit sticks. I don't want to presume too much on the generosity of the gods here.
We're gonna say you grab poorly lit sticks for now. So you're scrambling, you're grabbing sticks, and Durant is grabbing this. He's clutching this block. He's like, "What the hell's is going on here?" And the birds are going nuts. They're just cawing like crazy.
I'm gonna start packing up, just like recovering as much of the supplies as
Sure.
fast as we can.
The woman raven figure all of a sudden just disappears, just dissipates in front of your eyes. And as she does so, the howling and screaming gets louder. And it erupts from the forest, like all around you now.
I
And
think we should do a back-to-back. A
Yeah.
circle.
Yeah, circle
Yeah.
up.
sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
June cracks her knuckles and puts her back to Angra.
Mhm.
To Angra's back and is like, "Let's do this, buddy."
Yep.
So as you stand there, you go back to back. You've got this trail that's
Um,
kind of parted. You've got the bloody footprints. Go ahead. What were you gonna say?
Is there anywhere reasonable that I could hide?
No, because you're in like a little clearing, and the mist is
Yeah.
closing in on you. You've just got that path that's kind of
Like
broken
flat
through the
ground.
mist. All of a sudden, out of the mist jumps this dog-like beast. It looks like it's been like bred in the bowels of hell. Jumps out and starts snarling, and then a second, and a third, and a fourth, and a fifth, and a sixth. Basically encircling the group of you. There's drool dripping from their jaws, and they're just like snapping in your general direction.
That's no good.
One of them leaps at Durant and pins him to the ground and just starts gnawing and biting and shredding and ripping away at him. And another jumps over and here, the Emperor's, damn it! And he reaches to the closest one of you. I'm gonna say it's June. You're the closest, and he's take the damn box, take the box, get it out of here.
Yeah, June just grabs the box.
So it is
And-
attached to his arm.
Oh,
So you
it's
can
attached.
lob his arm off. You could try to make an arduous skullduggery to try and like jimmy it off of his arm. He's screaming and withering in pain as these things are ripping him apart alive.
Well, a cestus is a punching weapon, right? So you can't exactly lop off his arm with that.
Right, no, but my threshing flail, might that have enough force to? Well, no, that's more of a bludgeoning thing, anyways.
There's nothing sharp nearby. There's no like
I have a stiletto, but
machete or something.
No,
Hey, Angra, do you have your lockpicks?
no, I don't have
Like-
lockpicks.
Durant's not
They're
armed
trying
with
to put a
anything.
throwing
I
knife
get-
in one of these dogs while they're talking about it.
I have.
Durant,
Durant just has a cudgel on him.
Can I just
Okay.
like rip his arm off then?
You could try to rip his arm off. Yeah, why not?
What
Can,
would that be?
Can I?
Athletics, maybe?
That's a great question.
It's
Toughness. We're gonna do toughness,
Toughness? Okay.
and we're gonna make it. It's gonna be pretty hard. It's gonna be a hard toughness. You've got some assistance from these hellhounds that are ripping him to shreds.
Well,
Hard, you
it's
said?
tough to him.
Yeah.
You should just locate his thumb to get the cuff around his hand. That might be easier than actually ripping it
Yeah,
off.
I break his thumb.
You go over, you break you snap his thumb. Between you snapping his thumb and these dogs also ripping at him, his arm comes off, like it's severed.
Okay, yeah.
And you've got his arm, you've got the chain, and you've got a box. These beasts are now like closing in on the group of you and snapping and
All right.
and hopping in your direction.
I think it's just time for us to fucking beat it.
Run. Let's run.
Cheat it? All right. I'm gonna say you've got the box. You lead.
Yeah, that's okay.
Do we want to roll a die for a random direction, or are you trying to chart a path?
I think we're gonna follow are those footsteps still there?
Yes, they are. They are. The opening and the footsteps are still there.
Gonna have to follow those because that's the only clear space.
Okay. I
All
trust
right.
you.
All right.
All right,
let's
so
do
you
this.
grab
Go.
it. The Blitzballer. What position do you play, June?
She plays a blitzer
Blitzer.
specifically.
So she puts her head down and just like charges into the clearing in the mist.
Right, yeah, exactly. So
I think When there's an opening in a defensive line, that's the pocket.
There you go. The pocket. All right, so these things are
Not really football either, but I think
you break for the opening in the mist. You look behind you and you see all these hellhounds jumping on top of Durant, ripping the sheds, pulling them apart as he's screaming, "Get it to safety! Get it out of here!" And you run. You just run. There is no sign of light. There is nothing. And you run and you run and you run, and it seems like you've been running for 5, 10, 50 minutes. You just don't stop. You're paranoid by these things behind you. You turn around every once in a while, and it almost looks like the mist is sealing behind you as you travel through it. And this pathway continues to open up. It's very narrow in front of you, and you put your light down to the ground. You can continue to see these bloody footprints that you're following. You eventually stop. You grasp your sides. You're huffing. You're puffing. You stop. There's pain shooting through your lungs. And you look around. You take stock. What do you have left? Everything was in your bags. You grabbed what you could when you left. And the darkness just keeps creeping on you. Even when you stop for a short moment, you see that it's almost enclosing on you.
Okay. Should we continue walking?
Push through till dawn, I'm going to say.
You look...
Yeah,
Go ahead.
Let's clarify, like, what do we have left?
Yeah, what did you grab? I'm going to say you grabbed the torch, so you have a little bit of light.
Right.
You were saying that you're trying to grab your belongings, so you grabbed a sack of whatever you had?
By default, I start with a shoulder bag, so if I got my bag, that would explain why I have my casting materials for going forward.
Mm-hmm. Your
Okay,
regions?
If we had 10 days of travel left, and we assume that Severin isn't an idiot, then there's probably 10 days worth of rations in his bag. I'll leave it to you, GM, whether Severin's water skin would have been close enough for him to also grab that.
I'll say you can have your water skin. You guys did make a point to say you were kind of gathering your belongings.
If camp was pitched, then we did not have time to like pick up the tents or like that's.
Yes, I agree. Any camping supplies that you would have set up for the night. Does anybody have any armor?
No.
Okay.
Nope.
This is the closest thing to armor I have.
Okay, because I was gonna say you may have taken your armor off for the night as well to settle down, but nobody's wearing armor, so it's not like that could have been left behind.
Yeah, so I think June probably left behind her shiv and her bottle bomb.
Okay.
But she definitely would have grabbed her threshing flail because that is a family heirloom that was given to her to remind her of her origins.
Very good. Yeah, whatever your iconic trappings are as well, please take those. I'm not going to take those away from you.
Oh, yeah, no. The cestus she's already wearing. So
Did you guys have bags? Maybe we want to do like a roll for whether your bag was close enough to where Severin was that he grabbed yours too.
I did have a rucksack.
Okay. What would plausibly have been in the rucksack not unpacked for overnight camping?
Probably the grave root. And really, that's probably and the 3 bandages, and it's probably about it.
Where were you keeping your food? Where were you keeping your water?
Fun fact: I didn't have food or water.
Yeah, me either. Me either.
Like, I'm assuming that some of my starting money, like on the way out of town at the start of this 3 days ago, like I bought some rations. That's just how I'm justifying having rations.
Sure, I'm fine with that.
I think rations are in the book as being like 4 copper pieces per person per day. So if you had any money, you would have been able to have. I
do have like 16 shillings.
Okay, so yeah, like GM discretion here, but you could have bought rations on the way out of town that could be in your rucksack.
Yeah, it would have made sense.
Especially since I'm pretty sure nobody in the party has survival, so scrounging for 10 days is going to suck royally. So please have rations.
So that's 10 days is what?
10 times 4, so 40 copper
which
pieces.
Is 2 silver shillings. Okay, cool.
Do either of you guys get bags to start, or do you want to say that you bought one? I think they're pretty cheap.
I've got a shoulder bag.
Okay. What was in your shoulder bag? Assuming we grabbed it, but
Yeah, like you said, DM discretion. I got 2 rations, three mandrake roots, and a writing kit in the bag. Additional to that, I had things I kept on my person.
Mm-hmm.
Coin purse on my belt,
Sure.
my little black book, holy symbol I was holding when this is all going down, little owl, and my walking cane. I've got that for sure. I probably, because of my foot and being a little slower, I was like beating feet probably a little earlier, and you just passed me up, you know.
I thought you were
And
going to say you took your foot off for the night and left it at camp.
No.
maybe it's on backwards and you're limping. You put it on in a hurry.
I'd say that probably my mantle and neck ruff, I'd probably taken off for comfort and probably left those.
Okay.
So they're probably gone.
I'm good with that, yeah. Cool. All right. So
you got a bag or just what's on you?
I have. No, go ahead.
Oh, I thought he was talking to me. I was mixed up.
Nacho, it's all you.
Okay, I have a bag. Inside, I had anti-venom, free folk paint, a second attire. Well, holy symbol, I have it on me. I had lockpicks. I have mantle, soft shoes, and dark clothes that I am wearing, besides my weapons that I have with me.
Do you want to convert any of your starting cash to rations that you can already have with you, or are we foraging as we go through? We got 10 days left toward destination.
Well, I think we could change. I have 6 silver shillings, so I think better we can change these to rations.
All right. You good with that, GM?
yeah, I'm fine with all that.
All right. So yeah, drop 2 of your silver shillings and say you've got 10 days worth of rations. And water skins. I'm hoping that Severin had one. If GM's cool with that, did you guys also have water skins?
I'll say you guys could have bought them. Thank you for the raid, Chromatic Chimera. Appreciate it. Thank you for joining us for the session 1 of this.
How many days of rations?
We have 10 days left of travel. So if you bought appropriately, you would have 10 days left.
Okay.
All right. So you guys are standing there and you're taking stock of what you have. And Marith, you turn and you look in the direction you're moving. You turned around a little bit. You look in the direction you're headed, and you notice like a pinprick of light in that direction. That's the first light you've seen outside of your torch that whoever grabbed torches from the campfire, which are all starting to kind of go out right now. They're getting near the end. Everybody can go ahead and make me a standard awareness test after Marith points out this pinprick of light, and you all look in that direction.
I am rolling terribly.
That's all right. All right, so whoever passed, I've got what? Marith and Angra passed?
Yeah,
I passed.
I pass.
Perfect.
Oh, yeah.
You determined that you think that might be the direction of Fuchstad, where you're headed. You don't know what's going on. You have no idea, but you see a pinprick of light, and you think that is where you want to go. Maybe it's the city up ahead. So you suggest heading in that direction.
Can I try I don't have ranks in navigation, but can I try navigation?
Sure. Yeah, you can make me a hard navigation roll, please.
Going to be tough.
Who, me? Whoa, critical success. Look at that. And what were you trying to determine with that roll?
If that's the direction to Fuchstad.
It looks like, you get your coordinates together, you look, and you get a brief glimpse at the stars and the moon, and you get your coordinates, you get your bearings, and it's actually, that might be Mullensburg, which is a town that is one of the like towns that have not gotten involved in this conflict. You think that is the direction of Mullensburg with your critical success, and that would be safe haven for the night. You can get out of this possibly.
Okay. How that sounds?
Anywhere's better than out here with those things.
That works for
Okay.
me. If we get to a building, I can consecrate it, and if those things are the right kind of supernatural, they can't come inside. So yes, please.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's go.
All right. All right. So you keep heading into this darkness, and like I said, it's enclosing around you as you move through it. You just see this tiny, tiny, tiny spot of light. June, go ahead and roll me a d10, please.
1d10. Awesome. Got a 5.
As you're walking along this path, or what you assume is a path, as your torches go out, and you just keep walking towards this light, you feel like a hot breath on the back of your neck. All of a sudden, the hairs all over you stand up, and you get like goosebumps all over your body. You turn around to see who it is or what it is. There's nothing there. Absolutely nothing.
June's just gonna clutch her holy symbol to the steward a little bit tighter, and just sort of like start mumbling a prayer again.
The rest of you see this, and you don't really know what. You didn't hear, you didn't feel anything, just June did. And June just whips around, looks around, grabs her holy symbol, and just starts praying out of nowhere. And the rest of you are kind of like a little spooked, but you're like, yeah, let's just move on. Let's keep going. This is weird. We want to get out of here.
Engage with that, actually. What's up, playa?
June, she looks up at you. I felt something on my back of my neck, breathing down my neck. Oh, I ain't liking that.
Oh God. All right.
Severin, you're
I-
you're a holy man, aren't you? Don't you got something you can do prior to the martyr or something? 'Cause I don't think the steward is listening. I don't think he's listening.
I think it's time for a blessed sacrament. Actually, you want to walk me through casting this bastard? I need an object or person intended to be blessed that I can touch. A holy book or other religious work read aloud, and no less than 3 observers who give worship to the god I invoke.
Well,
Yeah.
which god are you invoking?
All
The
right.
custodian?
So you could. I don't know if it needs to be your primary god. I would want to use the martyr, but
Mhm.
if you guys venerate the martyr, on Martyr's Day or whatever, if you're, I think Easter and Christmas worshippers is sufficient for this.
It's your choice which one you want to invoke in that situation.
Okay. If it gives any extra comfort to our blitzballer here, I'll use the steward if I can. And if you, all right, what does this do to a person? Dedication of a person allows them to re-roll a failed skilled test as if they had expended a fortune point whenever they may fall under the charm or control of an abyssal creature. Do you want me to roll an invocation test for that? How do we do this?
Yeah, so just hit the button that says cast right next to it.
All right, let's see.
And that should roll if I'm correct. Whoa, there's the whole text. Scroll back up. You rolled a 65 and your target number is a 62, so you did not succeed.
Didn't quite get there. All right.
Did you want to spend a fortune or are you just going to let that one ride?
Well, I mean, the reagents don't consume, right?
Right.
So depending on how much time that took, we can just do it again. Like, you tell me, GM, how much time?
No, if you're going to stand there, the mist is going to start to envelop you.
All right.
So it's either spend a fortune to re-roll it or just move on at this point.
All right. I'm good with moving on. If you're okay with, we tried. Take a little.
Well, as far as June knows, you said a prayer over her. She's good.
Okay. Cool. Works for me if it works for you.
Yeah. All right, so you said a prayer and you continue on. And June, you feel a little bit of relief. Your faith, comes to you, and you feel a little stronger. Severin, why don't you go ahead and roll me a d10, please, as you continue to tread through this darkness.
Oh God, we're all gonna die. Where's the D10? Go.
3. You're walking, and the ground is all dry. It's all level. It's almost like you're walking on dirt or rocks. And all of a sudden, a cold slosh moves across your boots, like something's stepped over top of your boots. And it starts to seep inside. It soaks your socks. It soaks your feet. It soaks you to the bone. And a chill just shoots right up your body with each step. Nobody else walking through there. You don't feel... There's no water or anything else. All of a sudden, Severin just kind of stops, and a chill runs up his spine.
Hallucinatory cold stream, apparently.
And your boots are... You're wet, and nobody else is.
So it is a physical phenomenon.
Yes, it is.
As
you're passing through this darkness and the mist.
All right.
Marith, why don't you go ahead and roll me a d10 as you're trudging along in this darkness?
7.
You're walking and your back, it starts to itch. And you reach behind you. And you're scratching around, and it seems to almost move, and you can't find the cause of it. You can't find where it's originating from. And all of a sudden you get this feeling of little legs moving across your skin. And you just get gasp as this realization comes across you. All of a sudden the feeling is no longer on your back. It's moving across your neck, and all of a sudden up your face and into your hair. And you're reaching, and you're trying to stop it and grab it as it's doing so. You think there's maybe a spider or a bug, and you're reaching, and it gets to the top of your head and it just stops. It just fades away. No sound of buzzing, no sign of a spider or anything.
Does anybody else feel that?
Whatever's screwing with us seems to be screwing with us individually. I'm not digging on it.
Oh, hey, Matt.
Yes.
Are you doing X cards for this?
I have not, but we should.
Yeah.
We should. I'll have to get those set up.
To clarify, I am fine with how it is right now.
Okay, nobody's having an issue. If anybody has an issue, just say, "Hey, stop." It's all pretty hands off. It doesn't get into a lot of detail, but if anybody has an issue, just say stop, and we can back it up. Sorry, I should have that set up in the game. I apologize.
I think what Dan does is he does the X on the camera, right, like this. Am I muted?
I don't know. I'm not always looking at the camera. So it's better to say, stop, or throw an X in the chat. I'm looking at the chat all the time. Ian, roll 20. That works better for me, because, I don't have the camera up in front of me.
Gotcha.
Nacho, go ahead. You roll a d10. You're walking along, and you're feeling in the dark. And there's nothingness. And all of a sudden, your hand finds a tree. You feel like rough bark, and it's almost covered in knots. This is the first thing you've seen or felt. You don't really see it, but you feel it, and you grab it almost like an anchor. All of a sudden, it no longer feels like bark as you grip it. It almost feels flesh-like. Your hand reaches back, and you can feel your fingers lock up after you come to that realization, and you reach wearily back in that direction. There's nothing there.
So I have my hand yank.
No, you pulled it back. You touched something. You thought it was a tree,
and
it felt almost like flesh. All of a sudden, you're touching. You pulled your hand back. You reared back with doing that.
So I go to the side of one. So I go to watch where I just touch.
Yes.
See what it is.
There's nothing there. There is nothing there at all.
Something's messing with our heads. I don't like this. We should press on.
Yeah, is there some like pick up the pace mechanic? Like the whole time here.
A hustle, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Meanwhile, poor Merritt's like, I'm missing a foot, guys. Hold up.
He's missing a foot, and I'm in wet socks. But like, I'll
You got a
roll
blitzballer.
I'll roll the toughness test.
You got a blitzballer clearing the way for you.
Yeah.
You continue on. This all kind of happens over time as you're traveling, and about after maybe 20, 30 minutes, all of a sudden you come across a small clearing. And it looks like you're on a road again. And in front of you is a lamppost with a single lantern swinging, and it's lit. It's the first light you've seen. This is maybe what you were moving towards the whole time. Yeah. And it's flowing in the breeze. And you can see that there's names on the signpost telling you what's in each direction. To the north,
names.
It reads Mullensburg. So, Angro is correct that you were moving in the direction of Mullensburg. To the south, it lists the Chesterdale Inn. Everybody, go ahead and make me a routine education test, please, upon reading these two names.
That is a flip to fail, correct?
It is a flip to fail if you're not trained in it.
Okay. Because I am not trained in it. Oh, critical
wow.
fail.
Oh, wow. Is anybody trained in education? I should ask that.
I'm not, but I think I got it.
You did get it.
41,
Meredith, or I'm sorry, Severin did get it. June, with yours, we're gonna use that with a fail forward test. Nothing's gonna really happen to you here, but it might come back to haunt you in the near future.
Of course.
Critical failure. But Severin, you're like Chesterdale Inn. There's no Chesterdale Inn between Mullensburg and Fuchstad. There's no such place that exists. And then all of a sudden it dawns on you. You remember a tale from long ago, from your childhood, about a inn 100 years ago that was apparently consumed by the abyssal princes and burned to the ground somewhere in this area. They say it was beset upon by a whistling demon in black and another creature dressed like a circus clown.
Are there distances marked on these signposts?
It just says north and south. So the south is the Chesterdale Inn. North is Mullensburg.
Since Meredith is actually alive 100 years ago, can I make an additional education test?
You could make me a folklore test. And it's going to be a hard test.
Oops.
Just missed it.
Just
missed it. That's okay. So, yeah. Severin relays this information to the rest of you.
I'm going to say, like, an inn sounds good. A demon inn super doesn't. Especially since my default gambit is to trade consecrating the inn for room and board. And if it's demons, they're not going to want it consecrated. It's going to kick them all out. I vote for Mullensburg. All in favor?
Vote for Mullensburg because I don't really have any money.
June's like, yeah, let's Mullensburg.
All right, so you decide to head in the direction of Mullensburg. Everybody, please make me a standard navigation test as you head down this road, which is still covered in darkness. There's still mist all around you. It seems to be just like an opening around this sign, but you're still going to head down a narrow path into the darkness. So make me a standard navigation test as you do so. You're all passing this.
I didn't.
I didn't.
Oh, it's flip to fail, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yep.
Well,
Right.
I wouldn't have passed anyways, even if it flipped, unless it was a flip to succeed.
Right. So you head into the darkness. You head into the night in the direction of Mullensburg. And you walk for roughly 20 minutes. And all of a sudden you see something up ahead in the road. You see light, and it looks like a lamppost or a signpost. You approach it. There's a lantern swinging from it, and it reads Mullinsburg to the north, Chesterdale Inn to the south. You look down, you can see your footprints. You were just here. This is the same signpost, despite heading in the direction of Mullinsburg.
Not cool.
Not cool.
You want to try again? We did get one critical success on a navigation test already. You want to go for hat trick there?
Do you want to spend a fortune point here, or do you want to just let it ride?
I think June is fine with just letting it ride. She's accepted her fate. The stewardess clearly put her on this path for a reason.
There, yes. And it is flip to fail. Remember that.
Yeah. So I guess we should go south.
To the Chesterdale Inn, burned to the ground by demons 100 years ago. What could possibly go wrong?
I mean, if it's that and just camp at the foot of this lamppost, I'm voting for the lamppost, honestly.
Yeah, but we're out in the open here.
Yeah.
Compared to in and in.
The demon inn.
Yeah, right. Like
But
those
can I
Belly of the Beast.
Can I roll a folklore for the Chester Inn? See if I
Sure.
can find something more.
Sure.
Standard or
It'll be a challenging.
okay. Nope.
No, you're unable to determine anything else.
Did
Nothing.
anybody have the option to start play trained in navigation? Anybody?
I don't think so. I don't think June did.
I'm gonna really rack my memory. You said it's a challenging folklore.
Yep, challenging folklore. And nothing's coming to you. And you're also all distracted. You're standing there, you're kind of talking about it. You're like, oh, let's camp here, let's stay here. You hear howling and the baying of these wolves in the distance. And what you can only determine is the direction you came. And the mist is closing in on you more and more as you stand there.
June's gonna look over at Severin and say, Severin, you can camp here if you like with them fuckers. Or, I'm gonna be leaving. And she's gonna start marching down to Chesterdale Inn.
Okay. How high is the lantern?
The lantern? Oh, it's like maybe 5 feet up. You can grab it if you want.
Yeah, I grab it.
Okay, you
I
grab
like
a
this
lantern.
one
You now have a light source.
I have a light. Yep. Let's go.
Severin just does the look up at the sky, like you seeing this god, like wanders after, not saying anything.
You seeing this? You getting this? All right. So, you head on reluctantly in the direction of the Chesterdale Inn. As you do so, you guys carry on. You've got this lamp now, and you're holding the lamp up. It's shining. It's guiding your way even more so than the torches were, but still, you're surrounded by darkness. But you do see these bloody footprints are indeed heading in the direction that you're going. They're not being formed in front of your eyes anymore, but as you walk forward, these footprints continue on in this direction. You walk down the road for quite some time, and all of a sudden you can hear the sound of crying, and what almost sounds like shovels hitting the ground. Just boom, 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 one after another. There's like 3 shovels hitting the ground. You can hear people crying. All of a sudden the road makes a hard left, and you are faced with a small walled graveyard, just kind of sitting all by itself. There's an iron gate in front of you. It's
I'm
rusting.
gonna motion
It's kind of
to
high.
Edward to kind of
Yeah.
hold the lantern a little lower. Maybe don't announce our presence quite yet.
Yeah. You lower the lantern.
Yeah.
You inside there, you can see a group of men and a preacher standing over a single grave. The men are busy digging, and the preacher is reading away from a litany of light and order. If you want, you can make a routine folklore test to try and decipher what he is reciting. And you can also make, on top of that, standard eavesdrop tests, an eavesdrop test to hear what they are saying. So we got two different tests here. Routine folklore to determine what the rite is that he's reciting. And an eavesdrop. Well, somebody nailed their eavesdrop and somebody critically failed their folklore.
So as a player, I think the Tome of Light and Order is the God Emperor's holy text. Am I remembering that right?
It is, yeah.
Okay. As a character, you get to decide what I think is going on. Because that's a critical fail.
That is a critical fail. Yeah, you're hearing rites read to the custodian, the god of death, is what you hear. This is just bad mojo. You're I don't like this. We shouldn't go in there. What are they doing? What were they doing in that grave? Why are they reciting blessings to death? Folklore, June, you passed your folklore. You though determined that you're the one who figures out it's a warding of blessing against evil, and not a funerary rite that he's spouting out.
Oh.
So he's putting a ward against evil on this thing as these men are digging it out of the ground. And we've got some passes here on eavesdrop, so you hear people talking and they're standing around. There's men and women that are standing around. You hear one of them say, "This isn't right. She was left here for a reason." Another responds, "Trust Father Reno. He knows what to do." And someone else says, "I just want this to end. It's gone on long enough. And if bringing this bitch up from the ground is what it takes, then so be it." They continue digging and digging. He's reciting this protection ward against evil.
Okay.
Do you want to just kind of hang back and observe, or?
Can I throw a scrutinize out there?
Yeah.
Ah, wow.
You're sitting there and you're trying to take this in and you're trying to determine like what is happening. June, did you tell the others that it was actually a ward against evil, a protection against evil that he was reciting?
Yeah, she'll go ahead and like whisper to them. He's sounds like he's doing a protection against evil type deal thing there.
I don't
Severin's
want to
just like,
derail
nope.
the action, but this could be a really entertaining argument.
Yeah.
Like the priest very sure and very wrong about what's happening. I'm not going to do that, but I'm very aware of the opportunity for comedy as we're passing it up.
That's fair. So, do you want to just kind of hang back and observe, or do you want to get closer? Do you want to interact with them? What do you want to do here?
I get closer.
Sure.
Are you bringing the lantern? Are you?
Yeah, you're walking up the lantern?
No, I leave the lantern here. Who grabs it?
June's already carrying the box, so probably somebody else will probably grab
I'll
the
take the
lantern.
lantern.
Are you trying to be stealthy, Angra, or are you just kind of just
Of course.
Okay, go ahead and make me
I will
easy.
I will have my sled on shed, but I will have it like in my back, hidden.
Yeah.
Just in case.
Make me an easy stealth test. It's night. There's not a ton of light. It's the moonlight that's shining down and the lantern behind you. So you've actually got the advantage here, creeping up in this graveyard.
Default clothing as a footpad is also optimized for stealth.
Yeah, it's dark
Oh
clothes.
boy.
Oh boy.
Do you want to spend a fortune point and re-roll?
It's funnier if you don't. It's
Yeah.
funnier if you don't.
No, as thick as I am.
Sure. So you're walking up and you snap a twig at your feet.
I'm gonna kind of like run. I'm gonna kind of like see what's happening. I kind of run in and be like, "Oh, hello, hello, fine folks. I'm afraid that I've been found out here in the wilderness alone with my small company here. We've had a most unfortunate night. Do you think that you might be able to offer us some assistance?"
Nobody looks.
Your
Nobody
panic maneuver is to tell the truth.
Yeah. Nobody.
Yeah, but I'm trying to cover for
for Angra.
for the sneakiness and obviously about to fail.
So as you
I'm
hear
run in and be like,
hear the snap, you run in there, Marith, and nobody even like turns to look at you. Nobody acknowledges you whatsoever as you pop out of the shadows and start saying this to them. Nobody even looks in the direction of the snapping twig branch. They just seem to carry on. You hear the crack of wood. You see two men hoist out of the grave a body wrapped from head to toe in white cloth.
I'm going to move closer with the lantern.
Sure.
And, I don't know if you've ever like looked for jewelry that somebody has dropped in a bar. I've had to do this.
Sounds like impossible.
You borrow a flashlight and you shine it sideways with the glint.
Sure.
I'm kind of doing that with these people to see if like anything reflects weirdly or if I can see any kind of translucence. Like moving the light source to see if anything looks weird about them.
I'll tell you what. Why don't you go ahead and make me a standard awareness test as you're doing that with the light?
Let's do that. Standard awareness. It's under intelligence, I thought. Apparently not. Perception. That makes sense.
21. So as you do so, you shine the light, you bring it down low, you bring it to an angle, and you see that like where they're standing, where these men are digging and everything, they are not leaving any footprints as they move in this dirt.
They're not disturbing the ground as they move. They're not here.
Exactly. And your light in the moonlight almost seems to be cascading through and past them.
Okay, yeah. I'm not casting shadows either. This isn't happening. This, at least, it's not happening right now. This probably did happen. They're excavating a grave.
Yes.
All right.
Is the grave open?
The grave is open as they're hoisting this body out that's completely covered in cloth, and you guys are like watching and kind of in horror and everything that's going on right now. The priest starts to. Pardon me.
A tombstone.
Yeah.
Is there a tombstone?
There are tombstones everywhere.
I was gonna go.
Where they are digging it.
Figure something out.
Yeah.
Like if stuff's happening, I'll wait.
Yeah, stuff's out. So they hoist out. The priest starts to sprinkle some drops of holy water on the head of this body that they pulled out, holding forward the symbol of the God Emperor. So you're correct that he was praying to the God Emperor. And the 5 diggers, they all drop a rose at the base of this grave. And they lift up this body that's wrapped in cloth. 4 of them drop red roses, 1 of them drops a white rose. And they hoist up this body on their shoulders, and they start to walk in your direction. They don't look at you. They don't acknowledge you. They start walking in your direction.
So, being the supernatural commoner-ish that June is, she's going to just sort of... Superstitious, I should say, not supernatural. Superstitious. She's going to just sort of like step out of their path.
Sure.
It's the same thing.
Sort of like
Step
bow.
aside.
If I was in their way, I'm gonna clear the path and let them go.
Yeah.
Sure.
Bow her
I
head.
don't know where
And
I've ended
just-
up with my light shenanigans.
Yeah. They walk right past you. They don't even look at you. They don't acknowledge you. They walk right past you. If you make a path for them.
In the real world, roses and their colors have distinct, like defined meanings. What do I roll to understand what the red roses and the white rose mean in this world?
You could roll a scrutinize for this situation, and I'll make it a challenging.
Challenging. Punch it. Go.
You don't know what it, in general, what this means, like what you're witnessing. You're kind of taken aback, but you think back to like how this all started. You had the murder crows and one white raven, and that was the signal of death. So this is another, it's almost like a continuation. You're getting another vision or another episode of one white object. Again, a sign of death to come.
Okay, so I get closer to the place where they're digging the grave.
Yeah, you can go to the grave. It's open. You can go over there.
I'm going to watch them go, actually, and see, like, do they remain visible out to the range of normal vision? Do they disappear into mist?
They disappear into the mist. You keep watching, and they just disappear.
So I'm gonna pick up like a little piece of like refuse, like rock or a little twig or something, and throw it into the grave to see if it's like
For sure. Yeah, you can grab it. There's a rock lying around.
phantasmal. Like you see if this is phantasmal vision or if the ground is actually open.
Yeah, for sure. You throw it, and it clank. It hits off. It sounds like rock hitting wood.
Is there any name in the grave?
There is. So the tombstone reads, Daughter of Sadness, Jacqueline Devereaux, 1560 to 1585.
What year is it now?
1660. Inside the grave, all you see are 5 shovels and the opened coffin that they pulled this presumably Jacqueline from.
Okay, so the inside of the coffin was wood rather than padded, is what
Correct.
what the impact was. All right. And what were those years, birth and death?
1560 to 1585. Daughter of Sadness.
Can I make some kind of an education check for that family, like knowledge about that family in that area?
You can. It would be an arduous test.
And it was Father Rio who was...
Reno.
Yeah, failed it.
You're unable to determine anything about the Devereaux, but while you are there and you're thinking about it, you do notice, actually, Marith, a scrap of paper poking out of the dirt.
I'm gonna pick it up and see what it says.
It looks like it's covered in dried blood, and it's got 5 numbers written on it. 56, 78, 39, 4, and 7.
Turn and hold it up to everybody so they can see it. What is it written in?
It's written in ink.
Does this world have Powerball?
No, but it almost looks like it might be a combination to something. That's what, just looking at it. That's what you think it may.
So what we've seen thus far, there's like a low stone wall around a graveyard. There's gravestones. We've not seen any like outbuildings, groundkeeper's huts.
Nothing.
Like that.
There's just a short iron wall or gate around this thing, and it's in terrible shape, disrepair.
Right. Can we tell how recently this grave was redug?
Oh, yeah.
How many seasons of rain have fallen on it since then?
For sure. Why don't you go ahead and do a scrutinize test, and it'll be a challenging scrutinize.
Challenging scrutinize. All right. Punch it.
You're unable to determine that, unfortunately. But the ground, the dirt and everything is still pretty wet. It looks like it hasn't been that long. It's almost like it was dug up recently.
Well,
okay. Should we go?
Yeah.
Unless anybody thinks it's worth the risk to pull some of the wood out of here and make more torches, which I kind of don't. I can't think of anything else to do here.
Well, you're an adherent of the martyr, right?
Yes.
Oh, wait, that's the custodian I'm thinking of. Never mind.
So just to clarify, there's a body.
There is no. They walked away with the body.
They took the body.
So it is empty.
Completely empty, and we
completely
found
empty.
The body was exhumed in a
Gotcha.
shroud. Like we didn't see the flesh itself, but yeah, exhumed a wrapped mass.
As you're standing there, you're kind of like making sense of what you just saw and what just happened. You hear the growling all around you.
Yeah,
of those wolves again.
Yeah.
You hear them behind you. You hear them in front of you. It's almost blocking every direction around you.
So you would say we're in the between, right?
You're in the in between. All of a sudden, 3 of these wolf creatures jump out all around you, trapping you in this small graveyard. We're gonna do combat. We're gonna do our first little combat here.
Ooh.
I need an Angra token. Which token do you want to use?
Wait.
We have the other ones pulled over on the right-hand side. There's just select any token that you want to represent your character, and we'll do some combat.
Yeah, that one.
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, with the fancy hat.
Yeah.
Good call.
Fancy hats are the best kinds of hats.
They are the best kind of hats. All right, let's do some combat. And hopefully everyone survives. Now you'll be fine. You'll be fine.
As
How-
soon
how-
as I'm kind of trying to find my way behind June.
Everybody get behind the ogre.
Yeah, no, I think that's pretty much the plan. I guess you'll walk us through it. We roll initiative and then start doing stuff, right?
Yeah, so I just pulled you all over to a battle map. I'm going to get you all on the turn order here. And so when you click on your token, click on the token that represents your character, do you get a button either in your top left-hand corner of your screen or the bottom left-hand corner of your screen that says initiative? Does that pop
Top
up for
left.
you?
Yeah.
If you click initiative, it should take all the stats from your character sheet and automatically place it on the turn tracker for you. So June's got a 7 on there.
Probably here, but I'm not spotting it.
But you have to have-
there it is, initiative.
You have to have your token clicked.
Yeah.
And also make sure you've got your stuff filled in, y'all.
Because it pulls it from your character sheet.
Yeah, it will. Yeah, like you'll have to fill out the current part of what your initiative is. Otherwise, it's not going to calculate it.
I'm hovering over everybody's and it looks like they got it in there. Like
Okay.
Marith has a 1d10 plus 8, so that's looks good
That
to
should be a
me.
12. That should be a 12, shouldn't it?
Yeah. Why is it only giving you a 4?
It's because he didn't fill it out at the on the current. Yes.
Oh, gotcha. I'll fix it.
I
I'll
see.
fix it.
Okay.
That
fixing
makes
mine.
sense. So
Last one
Marith
filled out.
should be 12. Who else? Well, just
Yeah.
shout out what it should be and I'll fix it.
Yeah. I see what you're saying now with the current. Got that.
I don't know what I should be. I rolled a 4.
Let's see.
So I'm guessing same thing for movement, but
So you should be 12 as well.
current
shouldn't you?
movement.
June, you're good with a 7. That's correct.
Yep.
Okay. Angra, what are you supposed to be at?
I have 9 initiative. I roll. I have a 2. Doesn't make much sense.
You should be at an 11.
Yeah.
And I got to roll for my monsters. Oh, where are their stats?
They're right there.
Oh, I shouldn't have a 1 on there. I rolled a 9. That's good for me.
So yeah, under initiative where it says current, like what should I have there? Where should I pull that from?
That should be that'll be the whatever your
Perception.
3 plus perception bonus is. So that first box just carried over to that current box.
Okay, perception plus 3. Okay, so each. All right, cool.
Because Matt's not worrying about encumbrance. So
Yeah,
Sure.
forget encumbrance. I don't like it.
Next time I hit that button, it'll do what it's supposed to do. That's cool. Thank
Nice. Yeah, it's a learning session. It's all good. It's our first combat. All right. So we've got 3 of these creatures. You're all kind of bunched up in this graveyard. I can even move you over to the open grave. You're standing near the open grave, and these things jump out all around you. And they look hungry, and they want more flesh. Durant wasn't enough. So they start to circle you, and one of them is going to charge at Angra. So he's going to use the charge action, which is 2 AP. So just a reminder, everybody has 3 AP in combat when it's your turn. And everything has an individual cost. You want to typically save an AP if you think you're going to be attacked on your turn to either dodge or parry. And you don't get your AP back until it comes back to you. So it's not at the top of the turn order when it's the dog's turns again. It's going to be when it comes back to your turn and it hits you, you get your 3 AP back. So it's something to keep in mind in combat and saving AP. So if you're at the bottom, like so June, you're at the bottom, you're not going to get your 3
Right.
AP back until it comes back to you. It's not going to be when it goes back to the dogs at the top of the turn order. Them damn dogs. All right, so one of them is going to charge at you, Angra. And charge means it gets to go double its movement, and it gets an extra damage die when it attacks. So it's going to charge at you. It's snarling. Spit is flying from its mouth. And it lunges at you. Let's see if it can hit you. It rolled an 8. Do you want to spend an AP to try and dodge that?
Well, does he even
Or
have AP?
Pele,
I don't have AP.
Perry?
I don't have AP.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right,
Right.
so it charges at you. And it's
Well,
gonna
he
do some,
hasn't done anything yet. He doesn't have his 3 AP.
yeah, it's gonna do some damage to you.
Yeah, so you generate AP at the start of your turn.
Ah, okay. Basically, surprise round. They rolled initiative higher than us. We don't have actions yet.
Kinda, sorta, not really. A surprise round is different. So you just the way combat works and Zweihander is everybody gets 3 AP on their turn, and they only get it on their turn. So going first on the first round of combat is really important for that reason.
Okay.
All right, Angra, it lunges at you with its teeth, and it does 11 points of damage. It's also entangling. It has the entangling quality, slow and weak. So immediately after strike, weapons of this quality force the foe to resist chokehold or takedown. So we get to choose. We'll do takedown. So if you fail this, you're gonna be dropped to the ground with a takedown,
Okay. So
which will leave you prone. Right?
athletics, right?
Yes.
Or isn't it coordination?
Athletics have charged. I charged him.
Right, but for the resistance, wouldn't it be coordination, or is it still athletics?
Oh, it is coordination. Thank you. I roll athletics. He rolls coordination. Thank you.
Okay.
Typically it's coordination, but if you charge, you get to use athletics for the opposed test.
Okay. So I roll coordination.
Yep.
Oh,
You're good. Doesn't even matter. I'll give it to you, even though I rolled a critical success also. I'll be nice and I'll give it to you. So you resist the takedown, but 11 points of damage.
Yeah.
What does that do to you on your damage track?
Wait. Trust me. Wait.
It'll be on the
trap
second.
ends. Yeah, the trap ends. It draws
Yep.
me to. I have 4.
4
So
for
I
your
have
first number.
Yeah, no, it's 10. 10 is the 4 number. So it drops me 1. Go to lightly.
1? All right, so I don't get to roll for an injury.
Nope.
not yet.
Not
Not
yet.
yet.
All right, so this thing lunges at Angra, and you see Angra push and pull and resist being torn down to the ground. But he is bleeding and bit like at his forearm as he was trying to push it back, bleeding profusely. The other
So who's-
two just kind of they get closer and they watch and they're waiting to see what happens. Severin, you're up. You've got a wolf creature to the south of you. You got one almost right next to you, almost on top of you that attacked Angra. And you've got one to the northwest that's also kind of just sitting there and watching, growling.
All right. I'm within touch range of June, right? I can put a hand on her.
Yes, you are.
All right, and we said I got my tortoise shells, right?
Yes.
All right. How many AP does it cost to cast a spell?
Depends. Do you want to channel power?
What does that mean?
That makes it easier. That makes your test easier.
It makes it easier, but also a greater chance of bad things happening.
Okay.
Chaos
Well,
die.
You get chaos die, yeah.
a critical
So
a critical success on this thing moves you one step up the peril condition track, which you don't have any peril yet.
That's correct.
So I don't care that much about like going for a crit, if that's what we're talking about.
Yeah.
Well-
So for cast magic, it says check your grimoire. So what does your spell say that you want to cast?
After successfully casting this spell, the person you touch increases their peril threshold by 3. But it doesn't
Good.
say anything about like what to roll or how much time it takes.
So
It says how-
it'll be 1 AP.
Okay.
So you can go ahead and hit the cast button if you want to use that on June.
All right. Let's do it.
That is a success.
Woo! All right. So June, your peril threshold is increased by 3, and I don't know. You feel sort of the turtley spirit, like your flesh hardens, and
Well, peril is more of a like mental or physical?
It's a mental thing. So
Yeah.
you all of a sudden you get this like mental fortitude comes over you, washes over you. Whereas, you know, when you encounter these things, you watch it rip apart Durant. You're like, no, I see how these things operate. I can handle this. You know, Angra's getting ripped apart next to you, and you kind of stand tall. And you're like, I'm gonna stop these things. We're not gonna fall here in this graveyard.
And then throwing knives are load once. That's 1 AP just to like whip it out.
Correct. Yeah, just to throw one. Yeah.
Well, can I grab and throw with one, or
yes,
1 AP to load and then
1 AP to just throw it.
All right. If I can actually make an attack, let's see.
Well, if you are throwing it, it's going to be a total of what, 2 AP spent, so you'll have no AP left for defense.
I don't know. That's what I'm asking. If it's load 1.
Yes. Sorry. Yes, it'll be 2 AP. One to throw, 1 to grab it.
All right. In that case, I'm going to ready a throwing knife and save an AP.
Okay. Sounds good. Marith, you're up.
So this thing's pretty busy gnawing on his arm right now.
Yeah, it's snapping at Angra.
So I'm gonna hustle around. June. I'm assuming I can move that far. So like right there.
Oh yeah. Yep, they step aside, you get over there. Yep. You get right next to this thing.
It's pretty much focused on Angra, so I'm going to make a simple melee attack with my walking cane.
Sounds good. So it's 1 AP to move there, 1 AP to walk over there.
All right.
You can also spend your AP to, what's the word I'm looking for here? Take aim as well.
That would be all your AP. So it gives you, it makes the test easier. So instead of it being a standard roll, it'll be a routine roll. But then you'd have no AP left to dodge or parry, get out of the way until your turn comes back. But that is always an option. Perilous stunts are also a very, very good option in combat. They can easily change the battle. So like it attempted a takedown, for example, on Angra with that attack, and a takedown will knock it down to the ground. It makes it prone, which means everybody gets an additional damage die when they try to hit it until it gets back up. So there's all sorts of cool things you can do with perilous stunts that will really, really, really make it easier for you and your group.
Possibly stupid question.
Yeah.
A lot of systems give things with more than 2 legs a bonus to resist takedown. Is this one of those systems?
Depends on the creature. It's creature to creature.
Okay.
Well, you know, I've got my coin purse with the sand in it.
Yep.
I'm just not sure of the validity of trying to do blind a wolf. I suppose it's got eyes like anybody else. So.
Yeah,
it does.
That is
Are you
excellent.
Dale dribble this hellhound?
He's gonna pocket sand it.
Pocket sand.
So you could do dirty tricks, right? Is that what you're looking at?
Yeah, dirty tricks.
And because it'll be blinded, and it can't dodge, parry, or anything till its next turn when it's blinded.
Yeah, and that's only 1 AP. It'll leave me with 1 AP for my reaction.
So
you're gonna have to make a guile check, right?
Yep, make me a guile test, and I get to try and resist it with awareness.
Standard?
Standard, yep.
Fortune point.
Yes, I like it. Spend that fortune point. This is a good time to do that.
Oh my god.
Oh, you have to take the second result, whether it was better or worse. So you pull out your sand and you throw it in the direction of this beast, and it's kind of like it's lunging at Angra, and it just nearly misses its eyes.
Can we say for flavor that it sneezes?
Sure.
Sneezes. Its nose.
All right, so I now have a misfortune.
I just kind of look at everybody and
shrug
like.
All right, you're gonna save that last one. I take it. It's not everywhere. That's right, Captain Kieran. It's not everywhere.
Can you take aim to improve the chance of a perilous stunt, or is that only for attacks?
I think it's only for attacks.
Just for attacks, yeah. That is correct. Angra. So this thing bit you.
Actually, it's for both.
Is it?
Oh, can you?
Yeah, attacks. Yeah, plus 10 base chance to your next attack, action, or previous stunt.
Oh,
Wow.
You
For the
spend
stunt.
2.
good call.
Yep.
I
Thank
didn't
So-
know that.
No,
All
I
right,
would do.
Angra.
Yeah, I'm going to do a stunning blow to this one.
Stunning blow. So what does that do?
That's to I have to roll an athletics test, and the creature must resist with toughness or be stunned. At the
Yes,
start of the next, at the start, it would start with 1 less AP.
that's right.
But because I have kidney shot,
Yep.
it gets minus 10 to their base chance, and they lose 2 APs.
You're gonna make it pea blood with a kidney shot. All right,
Kidney
make your
shot.
roll.
So I roll athletics. Where is it? Here.
Critical
Critical
success.
success.
I'm not even with a critical success. You do it. You do. We're not even gonna challenge that. So you hit it. Critical success. I'm gonna say you win it for the round. Instead of the 2 AP, I'll give you 3 AP. It is like on the ground is gasping for air with your critical success, and it's lying there wheezing.
Nice. And now I'm going to do an attack
Yes.
with a stiletto.
All right.
So I just roll.
Oh, do you want to use a fortune point?
I think you should.
Yeah, I should. Yeah.
we're in the last like 20 minutes. If we're not,
Yeah.
use it now,
This
but-
is like this is the end of this chapter. So
Okay.
use it.
Reroll.
Use it now or lose it.
There you go.
Oh,
Boom! You
Yep.
hit. Roll your damage. Oh no, 9 damage. All right.
And
Do you want to?
9
Do
damage.
you want to spend another one and turn
Just
that into a
another one
6?
to get a critical success.
Yeah, do you wanna do that?
critical...
If you
What
want
do
to
you
ask
think?
your party, or what do you want to do?
Yeah, yeah. Now I want to ask them. Do you think should I change it to a 6?
I think
So
so.
I can reroll?
It
Yeah.
seems
Damage?
to me that
Yeah?
our
Okay.
GM really wants to show us what these points do in his possession. And as
6.
a player, I kind of want to see that.
Oh,
It's gonna be fun.
Okay.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
I don't know if you're gonna see that tonight. I'm gonna save that for another night. So you got a 6 plus what is it? Plus 3?
No, it looks like it's 6 plus 6.
6 plus 6.
So it's a 12, and then he rolls a 6 again.
Yeah, roll me another d6, please.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh.
roll again. So how much damage did you inflict on this thing total?
6,
22.
16.
22, I think.
Holy crap.
Yeah.
And what weapon are you using? Stiletto?
Stiletto.
Hmm.
It's vicious.
Yeah, it is. It
Let's
is.
see.
That's
It's also
that's just
weak.
a pointy piece of metal, right? It's just
Yeah.
a stabbing.
Yeah, it can only do moderate
edge.
and serious injuries. Go ahead and
20.
roll me
22.
20 damage. Go ahead and roll for injury on this thing. Roll for moderate injury. Or serious injury, I'm sorry. Serious injury.
we-
2d6 or 3?
It'd be 3 to 6.
3d6, yeah. Alright, you inflicted injury. And
Injury.
we're using leather, steel, blood, and bone, aren't we?
We are.
Yeah.
Yeah. Somebody just plugged the book.
Oh, thank you for plugging the book in the chat. I appreciate that. So, hit locations. You flip your attack roll to see which location of the body you hit. So what was your attack roll? Is it 53?
53, so it's 35.
Yep, so that is an arm. It's one of its legs. It's going to be one of its paws in front of you. Roll me a d6, please.
5.
5. On the leg with a bladed weapon. Alright, bicep gashed. You immediately drop whatever you're holding. Well, this thing's not holding anything in your hand. Flip to fail all combat, brawn, and agility tests. So this thing lunges at you, and you just poke it, boom, right in the chest with your stiletto, and it drops to the ground, and it's gasping, and it's kind of like thrashing there on the spot.
Nice.
Nice hit. That's really good. Is that everything you want to do? You have 1 AP left. Do you want to do anything else?
I
You're
keep mine. I keep it.
okay. June, you're up.
Awesome. So you didn't get back to me this morning about my question.
Oh, I don't remember what your question was. I'm sorry.
So I'm going to show you my 2 things. So we got this, and we got this.
Yeah.
So as a blitzer, whenever I charge or run towards a foe, I can attempt a stunning blow or a takedown.
Yeah.
When I charge, I gain a plus 20 base chance to strike with a melee-based attack action or a perilous stunt. Would that apply for both the let's say I do the takedown? Would that apply for both the plus 20? Would that go to both the takedown and the attack if I make an attack on the same turn?
Plus 20% chance to strike with melee-based attacks and perilous stunts. Yeah. I'm gonna say yes.
Okay. And I want to say this is probably charging range, right?
Yep, that's charging range.
Yeah, they got this guy pretty well handled. I'm gonna go,
It's on the ground, gasping for air, bleeding.
I'm gonna go charge this one.
All right. Blitz
And-
ball.
Yeah, and because I'm charging, I get to make my takedown for 0 AP.
So you're putting the shoulder in here? You're
Oh,
knocking.
absolutely. So that would be a athletics check.
Yep, you get athletics and it gets coordination.
Ooh,
Do
I'm
you
going to
want-
spend a fortune point.
I was gonna say, would you like to spend a fortune point on that?
I would. All right, I'm going to go ahead and try that again.
It is a perfect time to use that.
Are we down to our last one?
You've got 2 left.
Ah, damn it.
Oh, okay. So, in combat, this only happens in combat. When you critically fail an attack combat, you take 2d10 plus 2 peril.
Mhm.
So we're gonna roll that. But like, if you critically fail outside of combat, it doesn't happen. So this is exclusive to combat. So June, you run over there. You got your shoulder down, and what happens? What does this look like?
So there's probably like some loose rock or dirt around here. That 9 is going to move it down 1 step,
Okay.
at least. Or no, I'm sorry, that's a 9.
It's a 9. Yes.
I have a 9 right now because of the turtle shell.
Oh, it doesn't exceed.
It does not exceed, so that's fine.
Cool.
But June probably like slips on that rock and probably twists her ankle a little bit, but she's fine.
Yeah. Just a little bit of an ego bruised.
Yeah, exactly.
That's all.
This is like the thing that she's been trying to do.
Nicely
planning
done,
to
June.
do.
All right.
And
That
then-
that was a
Plus
good.
3. If you want to note it somewhere, that will last for 7 hours.
Yeah, I already noted it. I already noted it down.
Turtle power. Nice. That's right.
Yeah.
Captain Kieran.
I'm gonna still try and punch this thing though.
Yeah, go for it. You just missed. Yeah, you only missed on the takedown.
Yeah, exactly. All right.
Oh, look at that damage if you would hit. Oh my god.
No.
17 damage? What did you
Should I
roll?
spend a fortune point, y'all?
Go for it.
This is
15
the,
minutes left. I don't.
yeah.
see why
This is the end of it. This is
Okay.
the last encounter. So spend the points if you want to.
All right. All right. I did that. I flipped it already, Matt.
All right. So go ahead and re-roll.
Whoops. So if you want to know how I got that 17, Matt, I have a
Yes.
plus 8 to brawn.
And it exploded. It looks like you got a 6. Just
Oh,
hovering
it
over
did.
Yeah, it exploded, which is pretty damn cool.
I matched it.
Woohoo! Critical success. Roll another d6. It doesn't take that into account.
It doesn't.
Get a 6.
I'm
Please.
praying.
Roll a 6. Roll a 6. Just beat the shit out of this thing.
Yeah. Looks like it's taking its time to roll.
You might have to reload load roll 20. It does that sometimes. It's silly like that.
Here, let's try it. Try it.
It's silly
There
like
we
that
go.
sometimes. All
Got
right.
a 3.
So 14 damage total. Do you get to roll for injury? Let's see.
Probably not.
No, you don't get to roll for injury on this thing. But that's okay. That is okay. You just slam your cestus into this thing and it lets out a yelp. And it goes back to them. And with this, the one that's rolling and rearing around on the ground, it starts just kind of crawl away. And as do the others. They go and they know when they're they're beat. They know when they're outmatched, and they start to try to get away. If you guys want, you can make attacks of opportunity on these things as they're leaving. That's up to you. Or you can let them just you can let them just crawl away into the darkness and leave you alone. I'll let you decide what you want to do.
I'm gonna chuck a throwing knife at the one that
Sure.
took a beat out of my friend.
Yeah.
Yeah, June's out for blood.
Yeah,
So
Yeah,
I'm gonna
he's
beat it with my walking stick.
Yeah, go ahead and make rolls.
all right. So I got a 21 and then a 10 on that attack.
21 10. All right. So as this thing's trying to escape and get away from you, you get one more hit on it. And it does not kill it. It does not incapacitate it, but it crawls away into the darkness. It's limping away.
I hit the bastard for 1 damage.
You hit him for 1 damage.
It's a crit. Nope, that was not a crit.
All right. Oh, that stiletto's a crit though. Roll another d6 there, Angra. So 11 damage total. Angra again finds an opening, a gap, and just plunges his stiletto into this wolf creature, and it drops at his feet. It dies. It breathes its last breath.
nice.
You
Don't
stand.
forget about,
Well done.
Sorry.
don't forget about me. I managed to miss like a crawling silly wolf. Like swung my walking stick and probably just about fell down.
Hey, I, as the religious professional, critically misidentified a religious rite happening right in front of me. We've all got our embarrassments this session. Don't fret it. A member of the clergy had no idea what was happening.
Yeah, and I failed my charge. That's the one thing I'm good at, and I failed it.
If we're out of structured time, I'm going to recover my throwing knife before something spooky happens. And
Sure.
It operates. And then I'm going to bandage up Angra's arm, was it? That got the gash taken out of it?
Yeah. Well, as you grab your knife and you're you're all taking stock of what happened, you're going to start trying to heal. All of a sudden, you hear music. Music, like it sounds like it's coming from pan flute. And standing there at the edge of the graveyard where you came is standing this figure in a jester's outfit with a skull face, playing a song and just looking at the group of you, playing some bars on its pan flute. As it gets your attention, it just turns on its heels and starts to walk down the road in the direction of the funeral party. Doing so, leaving bloody footprints in its wake and parting the mists.
Yikes.
Yeah, she will follow the Piper.
I mean, I'm going to patch up my bleeding party mate before I do anything else.
Sure.
Yeah.
Heal check, right?
Yeah.
Standard, routine.
Standard.
All right, punch it. 16. What does that give me? Uses up a bandage on him. Presumably.
Yeah, you use a bandage on him.
Did you have an injury, or you were just down hit points?
No, just 2 lightly wounded.
I don't know. Does he recover anything on the track? Does he get hit points back? How does that work?
I go up one
One on the track.
up.
Cool. All right.
Thank you.
Absolutely. What we're here for. Thank you for taking that fucking thing out. It was scary.
It is very scary.
If anybody has survival and wants a wolf pelt, we do have a downed wolf here.
Yeah, you got some kind of hellhound lying at your feet that you could drag with you into the mists as you follow the bloody footprints in this dark musician.
Well, does anybody want the wolf pelt?
No.
I mean, I would expect the macho as fuck footballer to want like a wolf fang that you can like drill a hole in and wear around your neck later. Like,
Nah. This is clearly demonic bullshit.
Dude,
She
wouldn't
wants
this be like
nothing to do with
a
that.
lot of corruption from something like that?
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, we're at the end of the session, and nobody's racked up any corruption because you haven't really done anything bad per se. Yeah, that could be a corruptible offense, though. Taking a hellhound's tooth as a memento, and carrying that around on you.
I mean, I don't particularly want a trophy, but I'm surprised that none of y'all do.
No, we're good people. We're good people.
Or at least sensibly terrified, right? Like
Yeah. No, absolutely. Like June, like I said, June wants nothing to do with this hellhound bullshit.
All right,
So
sold. I guess I'm not going to lead the way, but if y'all are following the dark musician here, I'll follow y'all.
June feels like she has no choice but to, I guess, at this point.
Follow.
Marith basically says it doesn't look like we have any choices left.
No.
Sure. So you follow the dark musician into the mist, following the footprints, and we're going to end the session there. It's the end of part 1 of the in-between. So I'm going to give 150 experience for this session, and nobody gained any corruption, so that means I can roll a d10. It doesn't matter. You're all going to get a rank of order because nobody gained any corruption. Typically, you'll roll. If I roll under the amount of corruption you gained for the session, then you'll move down that part of the track, but nobody gained any, so you all get a point of order for tonight.
Do you care whether we mark them on our sheet right to left or left to right? Does that matter at all?
I think they're labeled, aren't they?
Yeah, they're labeled.
Yep.
Chaos ranks are to the right, order ranks are to the left.
Yeah, but like within the order ranks, should I put my first one all the way to the left? Should I put it?
Oh, I see what you're saying. No, it doesn't matter.
Which direction it's
Yeah, no, it doesn't matter.
All right, cool.
If you had gained any corruption, also they wipe at the end of the session, so it'd go back to 0. That corruption field in the middle of the character sheet, but again, you guys didn't get any. You didn't do anything bad. There wasn't really any opportunity to do anything bad in this session. But yeah, that was the first session as Zweihander. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Hopefully it went well.
I'm extremely curious. If you had not talked me out of taking animal handling in session 0, what an animal handling check on the albino raven that wasn't actually a raven resulted in.
It wouldn't have been much. You weren't really dealing with a real animal there. Obviously, as it turns into a woman standing there in a cloak. All right, cool. So we'll be back with the next session of this next week, Wednesday at 9 p.m. Central Standard Time. So hopefully people will come back and join us for the next part of the adventure. Things get really interesting. I've run this before. Things will get really interesting. This is a horror-themed adventure, so it's a lot of fun. And we'll see where this takes us. It has already played out much differently than the last group because they stood and wanted to fight those wolves at the beginning, and they got really beat up real fast. And they also took a ton of peril. So, like, they tried, if you interact with the ghosts, like, they just took a rock and threw it at them, and they, like, it shattered them when that happened. So, the 4 of you have played it very safe so far, so that's good. Because they were like incapacitated, some of them, after the first session due to the amount of peril loss that they sustained. So you're doing very well for yourselves right now. I applaud you, and because it can get way worse.
I kind of regret talking Angra out of chucking a rock at the Corvid. It could have been interesting. But,
just watched all of your minds shatter there on the spot.
Yeah.
Very good. All right. Well, I always forget to do this, so I got to do this. We got raided. By Chromatic Chimera. Thank you again. They always raid us when we're live. So we need to return the favor. We're going to raid someone. And our friends who also stream on the channel here, the Defenders of Kobold, they're live right now, and they're running a very cool game by the name of Astonishing Swordsmen and Sorcerers of Hyperborea. One of the longest.
Raid 'em.
Yeah, we're going to raid them. So stick around.
Related. Hyperborea, isn't that?
It is, yeah. It's a cool setting. It's basically Howard and Lovecraft is the setting, the default setting. It's mixed together. So we'll raid them, and have a good night, everybody. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for joining us. Thank you to the players for playing, and stick around. Yeah, check out the Defenders. It's a good game. I've run that adventure, and it's a very good game. I love it. Check it out. See if it interests you. It's essentially it's like AD&D. So have a good night. Thank you for joining us. See you all next week.
See you next week.